guys, if you're new here, my name is Shauna. I'm an online health and fitness coach. Feel free to check me out on Instagram at Shauna_perform24. If you want to know a little bit about me, I basically help women get into the body that they really, really want with a strong mindset to match that. So we can focus on their training, their running, their nutrition, and a whole host of lifestyle support as well. This is my dog, you can see him in the background. He's Henry. And today we're going to be going through what a calorie deficit is. If my dog can kindly stop itching. And this is something that I've started following. Fuck your feelings and follow the plan, because I think more often than not, as a female, we can get quite emotionally involved with things, and there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're trying to achieve something big, you have to know when to put your feelings aside. So today we're going to be going through something that I think is very confusing, a calorie deficit. Now, this is such a broad word. We've heard it so many times, and to be honest, I feel like we all know what it is, but then I think a lot of people will be like, I've heard it, but I actually don't know what it is. So a calorie deficit is basically when we are using more calories than what we need to maintain our current weight. So that would mean that we're going to lose weight. I think more often than not, we just think a calorie deficit is 1,200 calories, which is what we're always told to go on as a female. But if you are an athlete, if you are someone who takes your performance seriously, eating 1,200 calories is not going to serve you. And I think for most women, even if I think like 99% of us probably want to get a little bit more toned, most of the time that will require you to be in a bit of a deficit, but it doesn't need to be a massive one. For example, I would need around 2,300 calories at my current activity point to be in a calorie maintenance, but to be in a calorie deficit, I want to take around 300 away from that. So 1,900 for me, or even 2,000, depending on how active I want to be, would probably be a deficit. So it's quite confusing. We're going to go through what it actually needs to be in one, what it looks like, and how you can get the body of your dreams by doing something simple like this, and it really does not have to be complicated. So first of all, I want you guys to imagine a balancing scales. So, and I can even use these things. This is you at maintenance. So we're going to put your activity and food. Okay, so you want to do a certain amount of activity and eat a certain amount of food to maintain. So this is what this would look like. For me, just as an example, like I said, I would be eating around 2,200 calories every single day, and probably doing around, I don't know, like 12 to 15,000 steps a day. And let's say I eat 2,200 calories. So this is what I would need to maintain my current body weight at 57 kg, okay? So this is me maintaining. This is literally what I have to do every single day without fail to stay the exact same body weight. But if I wanted to lose weight, then basically I'm going to have to do, this is me, let's do another one. Okay, if I want to lose weight, then I basically need to move more and eat less. So then, for example, let's put these over here. I need to move more and eat less. So then technically this won't even look like that anymore. It's going to look like, because this is going to be a lot heavier. Don't judge my drawings. But this is my activity. This is my food. So for example, we said we're going to take 300 calories off. So that's going to be 1,900 calories per day. And this is going to have to be a minimum of 15,000 steps. And that's because I want to eat more. I like eating more. I love food. I want to feel my sessions. I hate feeling too hungry. So this is what I have to do in terms of what my boundaries entail, what I'm willing to give up. Because there will be things that you need to give up. There will be things that you have to sacrifice and make compromises on. But it does not necessarily mean that you need to be eating 1,200 calories. If I wanted to, which I would never do, but let's say for argument's sake, if I decided that I wanted to go and eat 1,200 calories, let's do that over here. So I'm going to go 1,200 calories. I reckon I could probably get away with like 5,000 to 8,000 steps and still be in a deficit. But why the hell would I want to be so hungry and be starving just so I can do less activity? It makes no sense at all. So for the average person, they probably need to increase this and increase this, but the goal is to increase it consistently. What you don't want to happen is one day you're doing this, one day you're doing this, one day you're doing this, and then your food is also sporadic. The way your body works, it needs consistency. You need to stay consistent, because what is going to basically happen, this is something that I will always say to my clients as well, is that if you're able to stay consistent, you will see the best results. Who would have known that this was so dirty? Starting off with toned. To get toned, we have to do two things. We have to build muscle, and we have to lose fat. Okay, so let's do the easiest one first of all. To build muscle, we need to do two things. We need to go to the gym and lift with intent. We need to have progressive overload with our lifts. We need to have structure. We need to have routine. We need to be pushing ourselves. So we need to go to the gym. Okay, go to the gym. Lift with intention. And then the next thing from this, which actually connects two of the dots, and I feel like you probably already know this, you need to eat well, high, which basically just means high protein. Okay, so in order to get toned, you need to lose fat, you need to build muscle, and then to do both of those things, you actually need to be eating a high protein diet. Protein helps with your recovery, but it also helps to build muscle. It also helps with keeping you fuller for longer, which will allow you to lose the fat with less stress mentally, but also less stress on your body as well. So eating a high protein diet is so important. Towards the end of this video, I will go over what kind of macros you want to be going on. If you want your macros personalised to you, then watch till the end of this video and we will go over it together, and I will send you what to send me, so then you can work out your own calories. Now to build muscle, you need to be going to the gym, so you need to lift with intention. This means progressive overload. Which, to be honest, doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be pushing till failure every single lift. You just need to have structure, and working with someone like myself will allow you to have that. We use an app that's very personalised, and it can count all of your lifts and also track all of your numbers, which will then allow you to know what you did last week to push yourself forward next week. So in order to be toned, you need to lose fat and build muscle. This is how you build muscle. You need a high protein diet and to go to the gym, and to lose fat, you basically need to be in a calorie deficit. Now, being in a calorie deficit literally means eating less. What I mean by this, eating less than your body requires to maintain its current weight. So as we already covered, it doesn't mean eating less volume, like as in technically your portion sizes don't need to be any smaller, they just need to involve different food groups and different percentages of different food groups. So you need to eat less calories, but not eat less volume. So eat less calories, okay? So calorie dense foods such as like I said, chocolate crisps, biscuits, things like that, they're very calorie dense, whereas vegetables, meat and things like that are higher volume foods. They take up more space on your plate, but for the amount of space they take up compared to like a calorie dense food, they can take up the same amount of space, but the calorie dense food will be a lot higher in calories, the high volume food will be a lot lower in calories. So you want to aim for eating less calories. And to eat less being in a calorie deficit also requires more activity. So then, going off of these two things, to do more activity, you literally just need to walk. If you're already a runner, running's great, but if your goal is to literally just get toned, you do not need to be running, you do not need to be going crazy with all of your cardio, you do not need to be going to HIIT classes, spin classes and all of that gibberish and rubbish. You don't need to go to Les Mills, you don't need to do any of that, you literally just need to walk more. This is how you tick off this part of the goal. You're already going to the gym, you're already building muscle, you're already eating your protein, you're doing all of that stuff, but it is pointless. You will not see that definition in your muscle if you are not eating in a calorie deficit. And this has to happen for you to get here. So if you're eating less calories, you need to also be doing more activity because it will happen faster. Your body is going to feel so much better. You've never felt any worse from going out for a walk. So just go out for more walks. You don't need to overcomplicate it. Stick to walks and it will get you the results. And then eating less food, high volume. Low calories. And again, this is going to be personal to everyone, but just to give examples, most people, if they are doing 10 to 15k steps a day, 1,600 calories daily, 3 gym sessions a week, that's all they need to do to lose fat and look, toned. That's literally it. And I feel like now I should put in like a clapping thing, a round of applause, because that's literally it. To get toned, you need to lose fat and you need to build muscle. To build muscle, you need to eat a high protein diet, go to the gym, lift with intention. That's all you need to do for that part. To lose fat, you need to be eating a high protein diet, but also in a calorie deficit. To be in a calorie deficit, you need to eat less calories, but eat high volume foods. And do just more activity, which is literally just you going for walks. Nothing complicated, it's literally as simple as that. So it's like, how can we make it as easy as possible for us not to fail? So the first thing, you need to track your food daily. I will make a separate video on whether or not I think tracking your food is healthy or unhealthy. Lots of people have opinions, but it's science. You cannot argue with science. If you want results, then you need to be accurate. You've never half-assed work, so why would you half-ass your body? So you need to track daily, you need to stay consistent with it. And like I said, if you're stuck with what macros and calories to go on, message me the word calorie deficit and I will work out your calories personal to you. Then for your steps, your daily step target, like I said, is going to be different for everybody, but if you're doing at least 10,000 steps a day, you cannot go wrong. The higher you can make them, the faster this is going to work. So if you have time, try to get to 12. If you have even more time, and if you don't have a car, try and get to 15. Because sometimes there is pros in not having a car, because when I didn't have a car, that was the leanest I'd ever been, and I absolutely loved it. Number 3, if you go to the gym at least 3 times a week, you're going to start building muscle, and you're just going to be ecstatic. Going to the gym is so much fun, it's so good for your confidence, your self-belief, your self-esteem. It's also a great hobby, and if you have children, it's a great way to have you time. I cannot even explain to you how much it has changed my clients' lives, and mine included. I've even loved it so much I created my own job out of it, so it just goes to show how much it even changed my life. Number 4, this is something that we always overlook. Sleep. You want to be sleeping at least 7 hours. Obviously, if you have young children, that is going to look very different, but hopefully that will just be temporary and they'll get out of that phase. But this is where the best amount of recovery happens. If your body is under a lot of stress, even being in a calorie deficit will add more stress to that, and your body won't react as it should. It will probably take a lot longer because you're just so stressed. So the more calm and composed you can keep your body, the better it will react to this calorie deficit. Then number 5, water of at least 2 litres every single day. Most women do not drink enough water, and it actually makes me really sad. So please just start drinking more. Your skin, your sleep, your health, your happiness, even your breath. It sounds gross, but like everything will get so much better. Always drink your water. It's so important. Why would you forget? So if you do these 5 things every single day, well, this one every week, you're going to start looking toned. Give it at least 6 weeks of consistency, and you will get there. So in terms of what the average person would need to eat in a day, let's say 1,600 calories. Within that, there are 3 food groups, okay? You have carbs, proteins, and fats. Carbs are your main source of energy. If you don't eat carbs, basically you don't survive. Anything from a piece of fruit is a carb. So the people who tell you that carbs are wrong are wrong. So, no, they're wrong. The carbs are absolutely great, but the people who tell you that carbs aren't good, I don't understand. You need them, especially if you're a runner, especially if you want to train really hard in your sessions, you need some carbs. So for most people, we want to keep carbs around, under 200, which is for a lot of women, especially British women, who have toast for breakfast, which used to be me, by the way. This is hard. So yeah, we want to keep it under 200. Really, you want it even to be under 180. So let's just say 180. So you're going to be in a calorie deficit. You're going to have less calories to play with. For protein, we want at least 100. Unfortunately, a lot of women who don't train will actually only be around 50 grams on average, which was nowhere near enough for what you need to build the body that you're looking for. Also to build strength, but also for longevity purposes. If you're eating loads of carbs, it's ruining your insulin resistance, and this is something that I've experienced firsthand. I grew up on a diet that was mainly carbs, and I hated meat actually. So if you can get 100 to even 120 grams of protein in a day, you will start to see results. Like I said earlier, protein is basically to keep you fuller for longer. It helps to repair damages, it helps for recovery, it helps build muscle. Protein is needed for everything, for your brain to work, for your body to work, your muscles to work. You need to have protein in your diet, and it's the exact same with carbs. And then in terms of fats, also needed for everything to work, but you want to be aiming for around 40 to like 55 grams of carbs. So fats are so important for your hormonal health. If you have PCOS or PCOS, then you probably would have already been told that you need to be eating more healthy fats, such as omega-3, so like salmon, any fatty fish, things like olive oil that's not cooked with, like raw olive oil is really, really good, avocados, nuts, seeds. These are sources of fats that you can easily incorporate into your diet, and that will start making you feel fuller for longer, but also help to balance out your hormones a little bit. Then the last thing I wanted to talk about is, let's put it here. Most women do not have enough electrolytes, which equates to tiredness. Also, I think this does equate for me personally. If I don't take my electrolytes in a day or for a week, I have terrible sleep, I'm usually overly hungry, I'm probably a little bit dehydrated because my body can't hold on to the water, and I actually think as a sweaty person, like even do this video I'm sweating, I need electrolytes, and I think a lot of women do sweat a lot without even realising as well. So the more, well, not more, but you do need an electrolyte pretty much a couple times a week. And if you run and you're sweating a lot, then probably every day. So I think this is literally all I would recommend. No, I don't think, I know. I know this is all I would recommend for you to do every single day. This one is complimentary, you don't have to do that. But what I will say is that you need to fuck your feelings and just follow the plan. Because if you're allowing things to get in the way of your goal, then it's your fault, because you're allowing it to get in front of your goal. So it's your fault that you're not where you are. And as soon as you start to take responsibility to get those results, it will come. The only thing that is technically holding you back might be confusion, but we've just sorted that out. The only thing that is holding you back from getting the goal that you really want is your own habits. So when you're able to align those habits with the goal, like I said, most people will prioritize the gym over walking. When fat loss is your goal, you need to be doing more walks. But if you are prioritising the wrong things for your goal, you're just not going to get there, unfortunately. So I hope this has been really good. Please follow and subscribe. Message me absolutely anything. Comment whatever you want as well. I will get back to you. And like I said, if you want any of the leads, the free things that I'm giving away, then message me the word and I will 100% send them over. So thank you so much for your time, your effort and your energy, and I'll see you guys next week.